Happy Thursday, everyone. We're going to come at you with a nice little couplet today, a 2-round couplet actually, which is going to be a good time. But before we talk about the work set, let's talk about what we got going on for the warm-up today. We're going to play around with a little bit of movement today and have some fun with some hybrid stuff. So we're going to start off with an inchworm to plank lean for 2 into your bear squat. And I'll walk you through that whole sequence there. We're going to work on from standing into a nice lean into our bear squat for 3 to 5 reps. From there, we're going to work on some balance, some back scale to front scale for 5 per side, and then our air squat to sumo squat for 3 to 5 reps, and then a single leg good morning with rotation for 3 to 5 per side. So we're going to have some fun just moving around some different stuff, different planes, and see where it takes us. 2 to 3 rounds. We'll then move into a little bit of skill work with the dumbbell, a little bit of quick dynamic work with the squat. So we're going to start off with a Sumo Deadlift for 3 per side. Then we're going to move into some drop squats for 3 to 5. These are unloaded, all right? So unloaded drop squats for 3 to 5. Dumbbell hang power clean for 6 alternating. So you're going to work on that transition of the dumbbell into a jump squat for 3 to 5. Dumbbell power clean for 4 to 6. And then we're going to take down a nice lateral dumbbell jump over for 20 seconds of just consistent, steady reps, just to heat up those ankles, get that heart rate ready to go, and practice a skill we're going to use in the workout. We'll take that down 3 to 5 rounds. We'll go for 2 rounds of our work set coming up next. So 2 rounds, all right? Remember that, 2 rounds. 20 alternating dumbbell power clean, or 20 dumbbell power clean with 2 dumbbells, depending on what you have access to at home. And then you're going to take down 40 burpee over dumbbell. So we're going to have some good times with this. And in that, you're going to do that 2 times. So 20 cleans, 40 burpees, 2 times. Done, finished, happy Thursday. We'll see where it takes us. So let's warm up, get you guys ready. We'll have some fun today. All right, guys, let's get our feet underneath of our hips. Let's warm up nice and slow. Just inhale. Take those arms up big and tall overhead. Big stretch. We'll reach over to one side. Come back up and over as we take that big breath. We'll come back up. We're going to bring both hands down behind. Pull the ribs in. We're going to reach with the elbow. Come down and then reach. And down. And reach. And down. And reach. And down. One more time. Reach. And down, and reach, and down. Big stretch. Hands out to that T position and turn those hands in, turn them out, turn them in, and out, and in, and out. Big stretch, and forward fold. We'll touch those toes. Nice forward fold here. We're going to walk up our shins, coming back down, frame a foot, step it back into our lizard. We're going to lower that back knee down. Press the hip, and then we're going to come back through center and take that outside hand up to the sky. We're going to come back down. We're going to press that hip, come back through center, big stretch to the sky. Lower down one more time, press that hip, come back to center, and open up to the side. We'll plant the hand, straightening out those arms. We're going to straighten up the back leg, step back into our down dog. Reaching those hips, we're going to walk our heels out one at a time, back and forth, nice and steady, nothing too aggressive here. Just waking up those ankles. We'll balance it out one more time. We'll come into our plank, step the other foot up, nice and square in those hips. We're going to lower the back knee, we're going to press the hip. We'll come back through center, outside hand, big reach. Come back down. Press the hip, come back to center, outside hand, come back down, press that hip, come back through, outside hand, and plant that hand. Gripping the floor, we'll straighten out the back leg, step back into that down dog, reaching through those hips, and we'll walk those heels back out nice and slow. Nice and gentle, just waking things up. Balance it out a couple more times. We'll come back into our plank, keeping those arms straight. Tiptoe those feet up. We're going to roll ourselves up. Big stretch. Good. Big reach. Big reach. Oh, come down with those hands. Let's have some fun today, you guys. Let's warm things up and get things ready. If you'd like to pause the video, take down a few other little gentle warm-ups you can. Cat-cows, thread the needle, scap push-ups are a good one, especially for today, and or some maybe wrist mobility. Please be my guest. Take that down, we'll get you ready to go. But if you're ready, come along with me. We're gonna take you through that first phase, which is the inchworm plank lean to bear squat. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start in this nice standing position. If you'd like to start off with a nice reach overhead, we'll hinge, we'll take it all the way down to the floor. We're gonna walk our hands out into our plank position. Establishing our good plank, we'll pull the ribs in, press the shoulders. We're gonna lean to the left, keeping the shoulders over the hands, lean to the right. We'll come back to center, feet are in our squat stance, and then we'll pull back into our bear squat. Then we'll come back into our plank and walk our hands back in. Rolling ourselves back up, big stretch, and then we'll take it back into that sequence. So we'll walk it out, establishing that good hollow, that good core position. Lean with control, come back through, pull back into our bear squat, gripping the floor, thinking about that pinky and thumb, equally pressing the ground, and then walking ourselves back in and taking it back up overhead. All right, from there, taking that down, take your time with that. Again, focusing on that good pressure through that core position, focusing on that good shoulder position as we get the lean and lean, so don't hesitate to reset the shoulders before moving back into that bear squat. Our next exercise comes from a standing position. We're gonna work the back scale, and the back scale is a little different than our single leg RDL. So I want you guys to think about squaring up those hips, keeping the shoulders nice and square to the front, and then softening the knee a bit, but letting everything move as one. So we keep the hips square to the floor, my chest is square to the floor, and then I come back through. I can bring my leg right through. If I need to put it down for a moment, I can, or I can just move right into my front scale. I come back, I can put the toe down to reset the hip, and then I hinge, hinging at that hip crease, finding that good scale position, coming through, and front scale. So we want to make sure that we're taking our time on that transition. It's not meant to be just whipping our leg back and forth and swinging here and there, but I want you to think control and balance. So from the front, I just want you guys to see what my shoulders do when I go into that back scale. I set my hips and my shoulders. My palms are forward. They don't have to be forward, but I prefer mine to be forward because it helps open up my chest. And I keep everything nice and tight. I'll take it to where I can maintain that square hip position. So if that's here, I'll stop here. If I can get to 90, that's as far as I want to go. And I come back up. And again, I set, I lift, come back down. So taking your time with that movement, play with it, have some fun with it. If you need a little bit of support, please do so. But just keep in mind, we're only going as far forward and lifting the leg up to the front as far as we can maintain control. From there, we have an air squat to sumo squat. And we can do this two different ways. One of which we can experiment with the stancing. So my feet are in my regular squat stance. I can squat. As I stand, I step into my sumo, step into my air squat, step into my sumo, step into my air squat. So I can play around with that transitioning of different stances, or if you're like, Dave, no. The air squat and the sumo squat are just hard enough for me to maintain position as necessary. Then you can experiment going back and forth from air squat, nice and smooth in position. So I get myself in that good hip to heel position, knees go out, weight through the midfoot, chest is up. I stand tall, I shimmy my feet out to my sumo. I take it down to that wide stance where I have to push the knees out a little bit more, and then I come back in. And the hope of that is that each time we do that sumo squat, that air squat feels a little more free. So it gives us a little bit more room as we open up that inner thigh and open up the hips a little bit. So you can play around keeping them isolated as each piece, or you can work on that stepping out to the sumo, stepping back, but just play with that alternating back and forth. So your call. Have some fun with it, see where it goes. If the squat is a challenging movement, keep it to its individual pieces, but notice the difference as you start doing a few more sumo squats, moving into your air squat. Last but not least, we have our single leg good morning with rotation. I'm gonna do the first rep facing you guys. So my feet are about hip width. I'm gonna step that left heel forward so it's just in front of that big toe. I'm standing up nice and tall and I'm squeezing my glutes really tight so I'm nice and engaged and neutral. I pull the hips back, continuing to squeeze my glutes, but it will loosen a bit. I feel that sensation in that upper hamstring glute, and then I'm gonna rotate my elbow towards that straight leg and come back up. If I can't touch the elbow to the knee, that's fine. Or if I'm shooting more for that hand or that quad, that's also fine. I just wanna rotate so I get a little bit of rotation through that low rib and allow my body to twist. So don't worry about touching or making contact, just take it to where you can. From the side, I get myself in that same stance, I set myself up, I squeeze my glutes, set myself up tall, pull my hip back, maintain that good hinge, and then I rotate towards that lead leg and stand tall. So I keep my knees nice and stable, nice and strong as I get that hinge and rotation. And I'm just gonna really focus on feeling that sensation through my glute and hamstring. If I feel it in my lower leg, we have to really think about engaging our glutes at the top and making sure that they stay engaged throughout the process, right? So we got 3 to 5 reps of that per side. Take your time with that. Again, it's a pretty strong balance exercise. Take it down, have some fun. Quick recap, inchworm, plank lean for 2, bear squat, 3 to 5 reps of that little sequence. Back scale to front scale, 5 per side. Air squat to sumo squat, 3 to 5, or taking it in their individual pieces. Single leg good morning with rotation, 3 to 5 aside, 2 to 3 rounds, rock it, have some fun with it, see where it takes you, and then come join me for the next phase. So pause the video, take that top piece down, come join me for some dumbbell fun. Right? So our next phase of work is going to involve the dumbbell. So I have my dumbbell here. I'm going to set it up in between my feet. And I'm gonna set myself up so that dumbbell cuts my foot right in half. So it's kind of settling in where my laces are, so I'm standing right over top of it. I'm gonna turn profile so you can see it a little bit better for my hip and back angle. So I'm standing up nice and tall, I'm gonna pull my hips back so I get that good hinge like I used in my good morning. I lower down, taking hold of the dumbbell, and I'm gonna squeeze and stand. So I maintain that angle as I come back up. Then I take the hips back and down, maintain that good back position, not worrying about touching the floor or not, depending on where I can maintain my back angle. So mid shin is fine as well, or even just below the knee. So our back angle is our primary focus, not how far the dumbbell goes. So we have 3 per side of that deadlift, just working on heating up the hamstrings and heating up that, figuring out where our floor position is going to be in our workout today. From there, we have our drop squat. And our drop squat can be done a few different ways. I'm gonna show you flat out right now, as is, speed, aggressiveness, just having some fun. If you have someone at home hanging out with you, you can get them to shout out the GOAT, and then you can find that drop as you need to. Or imagine I'm in your head and you're standing there ready to go, glutes tight, eyes straight ahead, nice and tall, and you hear me say, GO! And then boom, down you go, all right? So what we're looking at doing is finding our squat. So standing tall, I'm gonna have my feet under my hips or just outside. I'm engaged, I'm solid, and then I hear that magical cue and I pull into my bottom position of my squat. Good landing position, so I'm trying to land mid-foot, big toe down, but my weight through my laces, my knees are tracking my toes, and I'm landing in that good squat stance. The depth is up to you. It depends on where you can maintain back position and good squat position, all right? So again, as a quick recap, as is, full speed, go! We take it down, we stand, come back up. Now if you're looking at that going, Dave, I don't know about that, I can't quite drop like that, I have some issues with balance or hitting my positions, that's okay. What you can work on, setting your feet up in your squat stance already, standing tall, nice and engaged, and now you still hear the cue, go, and you just pull into your squat and stand. Your feet don't have to move anywhere, but you're gonna work on aggressively pulling down as fast as you can maintain your positions. So I don't need to see you drop super fast where your knees collapse, you come off your feet. You're just going to pull, pause for a moment to feel your balance, stand well, reset, and go. So you can work with that with your feet already in place to build that skill of that deceleration. From those 3 to 5 drop squats, what we have is a dumbbell hang power clean. So I'm gonna stand over top of my dumbbell, apparently that I just kicked out of the way. I'm gonna deadlift it 1 time, and then I'm gonna have it from that high hang position. So I like to use, if I'm doing a single arm dumbbell clean, I like to send the dumbbell to the middle just like a snatch. So I'll kind of demonstrate both variations. So what I'm gonna do, from the middle, I'll take the dumbbell to my knees. I'm gonna drive through the legs, land in that power squat position, back of the dumbbell resting on the shoulder, core nice and tight. I stand tall, fix my feet, and I come back down. I switch my hands, I take it down again to the knee, stand tall, and take it from there. The key thing here, regardless of where I take the dumbbell from, the dumbbell stays close to the body. So I'm going to show you one more from between, and then I'll show you from the outside. Dumbbell comes down between to the knee, I drive up. The dumbbell stays nice and close to the body, traveling up the front, and I come back down. Now if I was doing this from the side, more conventional clean position with 2 dumbbells or a barbell, all right, my body position is going to be standing tall. I need to take the dumbbell to my knee. I'm going to come up the side of my body. The dumbbell stays nice and close, staying right up the body line, rolling into that nice shoulder position. Okay? So we want to think about that good leg drive, that patience, and then pulling into that power position, sending the hips back and down like I'm going to squat, not forward into the knees. We want to make sure we're landing in that good squat position. So take your time. You can play with it from the side, you can play with it from the mid. If you're doing 2 dumbbells today, all right, obviously you'll take them from the side and you'll work on that range with 2 dumbbells into that power position. Our next exercise is our jump squat. So we're going to take that kind of deceleration idea from the drop squat and use it a little bit more as we land from our jump. So we have 3 variations of jump squat. First things first is our air squat. So I set my feet up in my normal squat stance. I take my hips to my heels, my weight stays through the midfoot, and I stand tall. So nice and smooth, I can work on a faster acceleration up if I'd like, or just working on my mechanics. Our second variation is our non-jumping jump squat, where I get a nice acceleration through the bottom, I come up, and I pull down and work on that deceleration. My heels may come off the ground, but I stay in contact the entire time. After that, we have our full jump squat, where I still don't leave the ground too much, but I do leave the ground. So I take it down, good squat, I drive, I open up those hips and knees, pull down into that deceleration, land in the bottom of that squat, and stand and do it again. So the air squat is that foundational movement. We want to make sure it's solid before we start adding too much speed or dynamic jumping to it. So 3 to 5 reps of whatever variation or combo of that jump squat you like. Take it down, have some fun, see where it takes you. Last but not least, we take that dumbbell from the floor, wherever that happens to be below the knee, to our power clean position. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it from the floor, from between my feet first, just like I would if I was starting a workout, and then I'll show you some different variations from below the knee. So I take it down, I take hold, I'm going to push through my legs, and I'm going to clean and stand. From there, I alternate, so I take it down, I touch the floor or take it as deep as I feel comfortable, and then I continue on with that path. Now, the floor position does not necessarily have to touch the floor. I just want the dumbbell somewhere below the knee. So again, it kind of goes with that sumo deadlift practice that we had. I want you to focus on back position. So wherever we can go down to maintain that good back position, that's where we're going to take it from our floor position. Likewise, we can take it from the side, we can take it from between, just like our hang power clean. The only difference is we're, instead of taking it from above the knee, we're going to take it from somewhere below the knee. All right? So a little bit more patience in terms of that leg drive and still keeping the same body mechanics and the same dumbbell path. We have 4 to 6 reps of that to bring the whole movement together that we're going to use in the workout. Last but not least, we have our lateral dumbbell jump over. So we've been playing around with these a lot. We're going to use this today just to get our body ready for the skill in our workout today. So we can play with one of 3 things. 2-foot hop, little skip, low step, high step. So you can play around with that, whatever you want to do. The high step is just going to get that hip involved a little bit more, opening up the hip and hip flexor, where that lower step is going to be a little bit more about speed, and you can play with that and see where your body and where you want to take it today. The biggest thing, you guys, just get over the dumbbell. Make sure you get over that thing and make sure you're working well at soft ankles. So you have 20 seconds to just work that skill. It's going to help warm those ankles up, get the heart rate up, and get you guys fired up for the work set. Quick recap, we have our dumbbell sumo deadlift for 3 per side, drop squat for 3 to 5 reps, dumbbell hang power clean for 6 alternating reps, jump squat for 3 to 5, dumbbell power clean for 4 to 6 alternating reps, lateral dumbbell jump over for 20 seconds of just continuous skill building and warm up, and then 3 to 5 rounds, whatever you need to do. If you want to add a couple burpees in there, be my guest, but don't overkill the burpee because you have a few of them to do. Pause the video, take that down. Let's talk about the workout. The workout, dumbbell power clean. We just broke it down pretty solid in that warm-up piece. So we've built it from the top down, working from that deadlift, working from the hang power, and then bringing it all together. So if you need any recaps on that power clean, just scroll back, get those cues, but I'm pretty sure you guys are good to go and warm with that after practicing in the warm-up. After that, we have our dumbbell over burpee. So what that's going to entail is either a squat thrust or a burpee. So I'm going to turn my dumbbell to the side, all right? And I'm going to do a burpee on this side, and then I'll show you the rest of the rep. So we can take it down, hands down the floor, full burpee. Instead of jumping up and clapping, I'm going to jump over the dumbbell, step over, or skip over. I can also come down, step, and lower, and step up, and then jump, skip, or step over the dumbbell. I can do any combination of that burpee, step back, jump in, jump back, step in, whatever you want to do. I'm just finishing the rep by jumping over or skipping over the dumbbell. Same rules apply for the squat thrust. I can bring my hands down, jump into that good plank, jump it in, jump, skip, or step. I can have my hands down, I can step back, step in, jump, skip, or step, or any combination of those movements. Jump back, step in, step back, jump in, whatever you want to do, whatever's going to give you the best possible position you can achieve in this work set. Now, 2 things. With the burpee, we want to make sure we keep that core tight, and we want to keep the elbow stacked over top of the wrist. So we're making sure we keep that good push-up position in our burpee. With our squat thrust, we want to make sure we're executing a good plank. So we want to keep our core tight, and we want to still keep our hands under our shoulders the whole time. So we're active and pressing, so we maintain that good plank throughout the entire process. You can do these with an elevated surface. So you can put a stool down, a chair down if you need an elevated position for your burpee or squat thrust. So please keep that in mind as well. And if you'd like, you don't even have to do the jump over. You can just do normal burpees, and that'll be just fine if you're not feeling comfortable jumping over the over the dumbbell. If you're more comfortable just working the burpee as is. So a couple options are for you guys. Take it down, have some fun with this one today. It's going to be challenging. It's a tough one. I've done this workout a few different ways, and every time it's been special. So I hope you enjoy it today. It's going to be a good gasser. Please work for quality, have some fun, and let me know how it goes, everyone. I'm really interested in seeing how you guys like this one. Check the workout description for rep options and round options and all those different scales and modifications. All right, if you have any questions, please yell. I'm always around for you. Give you a hand. Bye, you guys.